according to the New York Times leaks, the Horowitz report also has some bad news for the FBI, and that allegedly includes evidence that an FBI lawyer manipulated a key investigative document in the process of applying to get a warrant for surveillance on a Trump campaign staffer. Let's discuss all of this with former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Harry Litman and clinical professor of law at Cornell, William Jacobson, also the founder of the Legal Insurrection website. Gentlemen, good to have both of you with us tonight.
Hey, Shannon.
Great to be here.
Okay, so the New York Times also, in reporting on what they say is going to be in the Horowitz report, say this, well, to talk about the fact that there is actually some wrongdoing by the FBI, in that it says, but Mr. Horowitz will sharply criticize FBI lawyers for their handling of the investigation in some ways, and he unearthed errors and omissions when FBI officials applied for the wiretap. A draft contained a chart listing numerous mistakes in the process. Professor, is that going to sway anyone?
I don't think so. I think people have made up their minds on what has happened, not just with regard to the investigation of the Trump campaign, but with regard to impeachment and other things. I mean, this has been going on for 3 years. The fact that there are leaks coming out trying to set the stage and spin a narrative, I just don't think it's going to make a difference. Let's wait till the Horowitz report comes out. Let's see what it really says. But I don't think at this point, 3 years into the effort to remove Trump, 3 years into fighting over the Mueller report, 3 years into all of the Russia collusion allegations, I don't think minds are being changed at all by any of this.
Yeah, maybe not on either side. So to the finding, though, that the FBI says there were no, or excuse me, that Horowitz says the FBI did not plant undercover agents or informants inside or make efforts to put them inside the Trump campaign. Town Hall says this: we're debating distinctions without differences here. The FBI didn't spy or plant informants. They just send people to glean information from those who were with the Trump campaign without them knowing they were working for the FBI. Words have no meaning if you believe any of this drivel. Harry.
Yeah, no, words have a lot of meaning here. What this means is there was lawful surveillance based on lawful predication. It was an incendiary and surprising charge if there'd actually been people inserted into the campaign. That would have felt like Hoover. But what they did in the absence of that is what they're supposed to do. They have predication, and then, of course, they follow through. A huge difference is between acting lawfully and acting unlawfully.
Yeah, and for now, it's speculation because it's based on a leak of somebody who's apparently seen a draft. Again, we'll know December 9th. In the meantime, there are those who think very differently about how we've seen impeachment play out on the Hill. Some think it's a slam dunk for the president or against the president, depending on where you're coming from. Peggy Noonan, writing a Wall Street Journal opinion piece, said this: as to impeachment itself, the case has been so clearly made, you wonder what exactly the Senate will be left doing. How will they hold a lengthy trial with a case this clear? Professor.
Yeah, well, I think in many ways the Democrats are like the dog chasing the car, and they found it and they don't know what to do with it. And what are the Democrats achieving? There is close to no likelihood that 20 Republican senators are going to vote to remove Donald Trump unless something completely startling were to come up in the next couple of months. So they're not going to remove Trump. And based on all of the polling, they're not achieving their political objectives. They are not convincing people to vote against Trump. They're not convincing people to back impeachment. So what are the Democrats actually doing here? I think what they're doing here is they have wanted to impeach Donald Trump since the day he was elected, and they're there now, and it's just not working for them.
All right. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, who's very familiar with this whole scenario, says this about how Democrats have handled this.
What they've done is totally one-sided, and I think virtually guarantees that no Republican in the House or the Senate is going to vote to impeach.
All right, Harry, do they run the risk of people seeing this as a totally partisan exercise at this point?
Geez, I don't know, but it is deeply wrong-headed to talk about this in terms of the 30 people and what the politics are. As Peggy Noonan has said, this car that the professor says the Democrats have caught, it's a very solidly constructed car. It's based on facts, but you have many Republicans saying, oh, it's not a car, it's a bicycle. You know, there's some reason to not acknowledge the facts. The important thing is for the American people to see the facts and be able to judge. And I think it's really wrong-headed to just think of this only in political partisan terms. In terms of Gingrich, that's hard to understand. I think from the start, the Republicans have been much more involved here than in than in Clinton, where they received a complete product where Clinton's side had no participation, and that was only in the Senate. Here he's offered the chance to participate in the House.
Well, they would argue no, but if it moves to the Senate, it could be a different ballgame. We'll see how that plays out if it gets there, as most people think it will. Harry, Professor, great to have both of you, and happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Same to you. Same to you. Thanks. Thanks, Professor.
All right, check this out.